So what is an emotional account? I can't remember where exactly I came across this idea, but I know it's a very well popularized idea of having an emotional credit with the people around you, the people that you interact with. It's why salespeople try to gain rapport right from the very outset, which doesn't always work. But it's also the reason that people are not influenced by what it is that you have to say if you do not have a sufficient credit with them. There's no credibility there in their eyes. People tend to believe or listen to or be influenced by those that they feel are acting in their best interest, those who have helped them to feel good about themselves in the past, who have had some degree of a selfless motive. And it's this selflessness that we all recognize and pick up on, which in small good deeds translates into small credits into people's emotional account, as it were. And from here, we can achieve more influence. We can help a person to see a perspective that they otherwise may not have considered, because we have sufficient credit with them now. So we've got to be seen to be adding value. This really is a value proposition. So there are some ways of adding value that are more monetary. There are, you give someone some money with no ulterior motive. There is a financial credit there. But more important than that financial credit is the manner in which it is that you've perhaps given this money in the first place. Did you make a big deal out of it? Did you really try to press upon the person that you are perhaps lending this money to that this is a very urgent matter? And did you make them feel badly about what it is that you just did for them? In which case, you've just depleted some of that emotional credit that you may have had already built up with whoever it is that you were lending money to, your friend, your family, or whatever. That's not really, you've forgotten the purpose for what it is that you were lending this money in the first place. It's because you either believe in this person's idea or you care for this person deeply enough to help them. And if you've forgotten the purpose of helping this person and you've become more focused on what it is that you will get out of return, or to impress upon them just how much of a big deal this whole situation is, then you might as well not have bothered in the first place. You've probably done a lot of damage to this person's ego, to this person's emotions, and their positioning with regards to yourself. So when you're doing something for someone, ensure that there's a selfless motive. Ensure that there's value that you are delivering, and that you're not taking value in another respect. So with the one hand you're giving, but with the other hand you're taking even more, potentially. So in doing this, you'll forge alliances with people. You'll forge relationships that are unbreakable. This applies to both family, this applies to business, this applies to any situation you can imagine where there are two or more people interacting with one another. So it's a very, very important and very powerful concept that we should all be more aware of and make better use of. So emotional credit, really have a think about that in your daily life. Next time you interact with someone that you are delivering some form of value to, ensure that they feel good, that they leave feeling good about the situation. And it is this energy that you've given over that will return to you. You know, we say that, we do, you do a good deed and you'll be rewarded for it in one way or another. Perhaps that's in the afterlife for some. But if you're to receive a reward here in this life, then that is, I guess, one of the ways in which your good deeds will come back to you and give you benefit in this life. And by the same stroke, obviously, if you're taking value away, if you're hurting people, if you are really just very selfishly hurting that emotional credit, that emotional balance that you may have built up with someone else. Perhaps you don't even have a balance with someone else and all you've done is just come in there and just use up the overdraft facility. Then that can also come back and bite you in the ass. So don't let things like that happen. It's just not good. It's just not following integrity. Your own compass, your own conscience will tell you that harming people in this way is not good for you in the first place. It's certainly not good for the others, but it's not even good for you. There may be a very short-term benefit to be gained, but your own unconsciousness of reality, of how it is that people relate to one another, this deep unconsciousness will affect you in ways that you probably couldn't even imagine at this stage, both in this life and the hereafter, if things are not dealt with. And that is all I've got to say on that. There's not really much else to say, except that be good to one another, take care of each other, and put your heart behind your actions. Really, if you're doing something thoughtful, put your heart behind it, put some feeling into it, and you will magnify the force of whatever it is that you are thinking, whatever it is that you are doing, for and on behalf of another. It shows that you care. And in caring we are sharing, and in sharing there is synergy. 1 + 1 no longer equals 2. Quite often it equals 3 or more. So I think that's all I have to say on that subject for now, and I'll see you in the next video.